Every time you swipe your card for coffee or groceries, there's a hidden fee at play, one that sparked a decades-long battle. This fee, often unnoticed by consumers, is a small percentage of the transaction amount. It might seem insignificant on a single purchase, but when you consider the millions of transactions happening every day, it becomes a substantial sum. This swipe fee is a small percentage of every purchase, but it adds up to billions for banks and card networks like Visa and Mastercard. These fees are a significant revenue stream for these financial giants, contributing to their massive profits. However, the burden of these fees often falls on the merchants who accept card payments. While these fees fund fraud prevention and rewards programs, for merchants, they're a major expense, often their second or third highest cost. This can be particularly challenging for small businesses operating on thin margins. They have to balance the need to accept card payments with the high costs associated with them. Merchants argue these fees are set without negotiation and keep rising, squeezing profits and raising prices for everyone, even cash payers. This lack of transparency and control over the fees can be frustrating for business owners who feel they have no choice but to accept the terms set by the card networks. After years of legal fights, a new $38 billion settlement aims to change the rules and offer relief to businesses. This settlement is seen as a step towards more fairness in the system, potentially easing the financial strain on merchants and allowing them to reinvest in their businesses. Supporters call it a historic win for small businesses, but critics say it doesn't go far enough. They argue that while the settlement provides some relief, it doesn't address the root issues of fee transparency and control. The debate continues as to whether this is a temporary fix or a long-term solution. Let's break down what this deal really means for you and the businesses you visit. Understanding the implications of this settlement can help consumers make more informed choices and support local businesses in navigating these financial challenges. The fight over swipe fees began nearly 2 decades ago, back in 2005, when a coalition of merchants, ranging from small shop owners to national retail chains, filed a lawsuit against Visa, Mastercard, and some of the country's largest banks. The merchants accused these financial giants of working together behind the scenes to artificially inflate the fees that businesses had to pay every time a customer swiped a credit or debit card. These so-called swipe fees quickly became a major source of frustration and financial strain for retailers across the country. For many merchants, it felt like they were caught in a no-win situation. Either accept the ever-increasing fees and watch their profits shrink, or refuse card payments and risk losing customers who expected the convenience of paying with plastic. The pressure was especially intense for small businesses, who often operated on razor-thin margins and had little leverage to negotiate better terms. In 2012, after years of legal wrangling, a proposed settlement was reached, but it was quickly thrown out by the courts, with critics arguing that it failed to represent the interests of all merchants, especially smaller ones, and didn't go far enough to address the underlying problems. As credit and debit card payments became even more common, the legal battle only grew more heated and complex. Fast forward to 2024, and the stakes had never been higher. A new $30 billion settlement was put on the table, but Judge Margot Brody rejected it, saying it didn't address crucial issues, like the controversial Honor All Cards rule, which forced merchants to accept every card a network offered, even those with the highest fees. This rule meant that if a merchant wanted to accept any Visa or Mastercard, they had to accept all of them, including premium cards that carried the steepest fees. For many businesses, this was a major pain point, as it limited their ability to control costs and make choices that worked best for their bottom line. Now, after years of negotiations and courtroom drama, a new $38 billion agreement has emerged. This deal promises not just financial relief, but also more flexibility for merchants to choose which cards they accept and how they manage fees. For many in the retail world, it's a long-awaited sign of hope. Plaintiffs' lawyers are calling this settlement a fundamental shift in the way the payment system works, potentially setting a new standard for fairness and transparency. But before any changes can take effect, the deal still needs the approval of Judge Brody, who has already shown she's willing to scrutinize every detail. The end of this long legal saga may finally be in sight, but significant hurdles remain. Merchants, banks, and card networks are all watching closely, knowing that the outcome could reshape the way Americans pay for everything from groceries to gas. The big question now is whether this new deal will finally fix a system that has frustrated merchants for years, or if the fight over swipe fees is destined to continue. So, what's actually in this $38 billion settlement? Visa and Mastercard will temporarily lower swipe fees by 0.1 percentage points for 5 years, and cap standard card rates at 1.25% for 8 years, a big drop from the 2.35% average. Economists estimate these changes could save businesses $38 billion by 2031, and potentially much more over time. Merchants can now add up to a 3% surcharge for credit card payments, making costs more transparent to customers. The deal also lets merchants choose which categories of cards to accept: standard, premium, or commercial, giving them new leverage over costs. This flexibility is unprecedented and could reshape how businesses handle payments. The settlement aims to inject competition and transparency into a system long criticized as unfair. But will it deliver real change? Swipe fees are often called a hidden tax, quietly added to nearly every credit or debit card transaction. Most shoppers never notice them, but for businesses, the impact is massive and often overwhelming. These fees are charged every time a customer pays with plastic, and while a few cents here and there might seem trivial, the numbers add up fast, especially for businesses processing hundreds or thousands of transactions each week. In 2024, U.S. merchants paid a staggering $111.2 billion in credit card swipe fees, an amount that actually surpasses the annual revenue of many Fortune 500 companies. This isn't just a line item on a spreadsheet, it's a real cost that affects the bottom line of every retailer, restaurant, and service provider in America. For many, it's their second or third largest expense after payroll and rent. Since 2009, these fees have quadrupled, rising much faster than inflation or even the cost of goods. For small businesses, this relentless increase has turned swipe fees into a top concern, sometimes even more pressing than rising rent or supply costs. Owners who once saw these fees as a minor nuisance now find them eating into already thin profit margins. Imagine running a local restaurant or grocery store where every dollar counts. Losing 2 to 3% of every sale to swipe fees can mean the difference between staying open or shutting your doors for good. For some, it's the difference between hiring another employee or cutting hours, between investing in new equipment or putting off repairs. That's why the new settlement's projected $38 billion in savings over the next several years is being called a lifeline for small and mid-sized businesses. It's not just about saving money, it's about giving business owners a fighting chance to compete, grow, and serve their communities. Even a modest reduction in monthly processing costs can free up cash for a retailer to invest in better inventory, hire new staff, or simply weather a slow season. For many, it's the difference between scraping by and having a little breathing room to plan for the future. The 8-year cap on standard card rates brings a new level of predictability. Business owners can finally plan ahead, set budgets, and make long-term decisions without the constant fear of sudden, unpredictable fee hikes that could throw their finances into chaos. For many small businesses, this stability could be the breathing room they've been desperately seeking, a chance to focus on serving customers and building their dreams, rather than worrying about the next fee increase. Still, the pressure of rising fees isn't going away overnight. The fight for fairer rates continues, but for now, these changes offer hope to thousands of business owners working hard to keep their doors open and their communities thriving. The real revolution in this settlement is the new freedom it gives merchants. For the first time, businesses can add surcharges for credit card use nationwide, making the true cost of credit visible to shoppers. This could nudge customers toward cheaper payment methods like debit or cash, saving merchants money. Merchants can also refuse to accept high-fee premium or commercial cards, instead choosing only standard cards if they wish. A coffee shop might accept only standard cards. A big box store might accept all, but surcharge premium cards. This flexibility lets each business tailor its payment strategy to its own needs and customer base. It's a dramatic shift from the old one-size-fits-all rules. For many merchants, it's the control they've been demanding for years. But with new power comes new decisions and new risks. For Visa, Mastercard, and the big banks, this settlement is a way to end years of costly litigation and uncertainty. They argue the deal offers real relief to merchants, especially small businesses, while preserving the security and rewards programs consumers value. The 8-year cap and fee reductions are, they say, more generous than recent legislative proposals. Card networks insist swipe fees, fund fraud protection and credit risk, not just profits. They see the settlement as a balanced compromise that keeps the payment system strong. No one admits wrongdoing, but both sides want to move forward. The financial industry hopes this deal will finally close the book on a long, expensive fight. Not everyone is celebrating. Major merchant groups like the National Retail Federation argue the settlement is a band-aid, not a cure. They say the deal doesn't fix the honor all cards problem. Most customers use premium cards, so refusing them isn't realistic. Visa and Mastercard still set the rates, and merchants can't negotiate directly. Critics fear the networks will just raise other fees to make up the difference. Many believe only new laws, like the proposed Credit Card Competition Act, can create real competition and lasting change. For these groups, the fight isn't over. The honor all cards rule is at the heart of this conflict. It forced merchants to accept every card from a network, even the most expensive rewards cards. Merchants had no way to steer customers to lower fee options or refuse high-cost cards. The new settlement lets them accept only certain categories, standard, premium, or commercial, but not pick and choose by issuing bank. Critics say that's not enough. With most customers using premium cards, refusing them could mean losing business. True competition, they argue, would let merchants choose which specific cards to accept. The debate over honor all cards remains unresolved. It's the core issue that keeps this fight alive. What does all this mean for you and your local businesses? You might see new surcharges for credit card payments or discounts for using debit or cash. Shoppers will have to weigh the value of rewards against new fees at checkout. For small businesses, lower fees and new flexibility could mean survival, growth, or just a little more breathing room. But tough choices lie ahead. Surcharge and risk upsetting customers, or keep absorbing high fees. The settlement isn't a perfect fix, but it's a major shift, giving Main Street a stronger voice in the cost of a simple swipe. The real test will be how businesses and consumers adapt to this new landscape.